Life warriors. I say real life because no longer are we imprisoned by these fake mental bonds that have held us back on this journey. Today we're going to discuss a powerful tool. That's going to be tip number 7, visualization. And I'll give you a quick exercise at the end of it that you can do to work on this tool. But first I wanted to talk about something else. Imagination. Obviously the two are very much interconnected. Now here I have an AI, it's called Midjourney. And when I talk to this AI, it simulates the fact that it's imagining something. I come down here, I give it what's called a prompt, it's just a /. I tell it imagine, and I can type in something, and it'll go ahead and it will draw it. So I could just say something simple like a red dragon that is meditating near a river. And it will go ahead and it will draw a red dragon that's meditating near a river. Okay, it's a pretty useful tool. I kind of like it, but it's really nowhere near as powerful as the human imagination. And you could say that's pretty obvious. Now, some people might say that your imagination is the most creative and powerful force in the entire universe. Whether that's true or not is neither here or there for this video. However, I would like to talk about something real quick first before we go into the drill. And that is the idea of manifestation. Manifestation is something that I find it gets mixed up a lot in how people view it. I think it gets a lot of bad rap from a lot of people, and from other people, maybe it gets too much of a good rap. Manifestation is basically a tool like visualization. And in fact, you could say that they're the same thing, except for that with manifestation, you must act. Now, I know there are some people who feel that you don't need to act to manifest anything. However, I think that really what they're doing is they're looking at an advanced form of manifestation where they are acting, but without even really knowing it. So the reason I want to talk about this is manifestation to me in my life has looked like this. Basically, I envision a task in my head. And then when I envision that task, right, I believe it can be done. And if I believe it can be done, if I feel that it can be done, what's going to happen? Well, I'm going to do it, right? And if I do it, if I act like I'm going to do it, and I actually do it, then whatever that task is has manifested into reality. So for instance, let me talk about this YouTube channel. I had the idea for this channel first. It started in my head. I had to visualize what I wanted to do. I went over scenarios. And then it came to a point where I started believing that it could be done. And if I'm going to believe it, I felt like I can do this. And if I felt it, if I truly felt it and I had belief in it, right? Then what am I going to do? I'm obviously going to act it out. And that to me is what manifestation is. And I want to give you one final example. And that would be of someone that is an athlete known as Serena Williams. And I remember one time I was watching her when she was very young, and she had won, I forgot what it was, either the US Open or Wimbledon. And it was the first time she had won one of those tournaments. I forgot which one. And Serena gave a talk on the court afterwards. And basically, they had said, Serena, what does it feel like to be up here winning this tournament, right? And she had mentioned, she said, in my head as a child, I have been in this moment thousands of times or hundreds of times. I don't remember, but she said as a kid, she visualized this moment. So I want you to think about that real quick, right? As a kid, she's hitting a tennis ball. She's imagining herself hitting that tennis ball at this tournament and winning the tournament, okay? She's feeling the situation like as if she's actually there. She's believing in it. And this imagination, this scene that she has in her head. And then she's acting on it. Because if you truly believe it, right? If you truly believe I am going to win Wimbledon, then what are you going to do? You're going to behave like a Wimbledon champion. You're going to play a lot of tennis. You're going to practice a lot. You're going to eat the right foods. You're going to do all of this stuff that pertains to, being able to win Wimbledon. And this also happened from Kobe Bryant, too. I remember one time he hit a game-winning shot, in the NBA Finals. And he had just simply said, I've hit that shot 1,000,000 times in my mind, or 1,000 times or something, right? So again, the power of visualization is just absolutely incredible. But I don't want you to get it wrong and just think that something's going to appear if you just think of it 1 second and then it should just automatically appear without any work. Okay? And I want to get that through. That is not what I'm saying. Though there are some people that do say that. Okay? And I'm not arguing against them. It's neither here or there. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think that in order to do that, you would be beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. In Hermetics, you would be a mage walking for 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. So, okay, let's get on to our imagination, our visualization trip. And this is something I got from Anthony Metivier. He is the magnetic memory master. I guess he's this memory champion. I don't know if he's a world champion, but he's competed on that stage. And I have just varied it a little bit to my own needs. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to sit down and you're going to close your eyes and you're going to take a couple deep breaths, right? And whenever we do this, we always pause, and it could be after the inhale or the exhale just for a moment. So for example, breathe in through the nose. Now we're pausing. And then exhale, open mouth. And we're going to do that a couple times just to get yourself relaxed. And then the next thing that you want to do is that you want to go ahead and create a scene in your head. And what I mean by this is if you have the ability to create a scene. I know there's some people out there that apparently think they're called Aphantasian or something like that, where they can't create a mental scene. And if you have that issue, then maybe in a future video, I'll give you something that you can work on to do that. But for this video, let's just cover this one visualization technique. What we're going to do is we're going to create a scene where we are in a hall. It could be like a hall at a university, a giant hall with a lecturer on top. It could be like a concert hall. But just imagine that you have all these seats, right? They're coming down to a stage, and then you have a stage. It could be a stage in the middle of all these seats. It could be a stage up front. However you want to see it, it doesn't really matter. And then in your head, what we're going to do next is that we're going to put you on that stage, okay? And you're going to be standing on that stage. And what you're going to do is you're going to put yourself in front of a table. And on that table, you're going to have a bucket. And next to you, you're going to have a bag of ice. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to reach down, pull out ice, feel it in your hand, and then put it in the bucket. And you're going to try to fill up this bucket. Okay? You're just going to reach down, grab some ice, put it into this bucket. Okay? Sounds silly, but let's keep going. While you're visualizing this, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to start at the letter A. And you're going to say somebody that you know. So just say Adam, if you know a person named Adam. And you're going to visualize Adam in your head. And then you're going to make a little rhyme, Adam ate an apple, or Adam eats an apple, right? And you're going to visualize Adam on that stage next to you, or somewhere, anywhere on that stage, eating an apple. And then you're going to go on to B. Becky broke a bat. And so now in my head, I'm going to see a woman that I know named Becky, and she's breaking a bat on the ground. And while I'm doing that, I can still see Adam eating an apple. And at the same time, I can move over on the stage, and there I am reaching down into the bag, grabbing ice out, and putting it into this jar on the table. And while I do that, I can also look out and I can see many faces in the crowd. I can look up the aisle, I can look down the aisle. And you just continue on and on. You can take your time, but you want to see how far you can get with this. And you want to see how much detail you can get too. So, you could go on to C, D, E. And it's not important how far you get. right? The idea is how much detail, how full can you get that stage, and how much detail can you bring to the scene, right? So when I see Becky breaking that bat, maybe it's a Louisville Slugger, and she has chalk on her hand, and she's, hitting a concrete block on the stage or something like that. And when I see Adam eating that apple, maybe there's a worm poking out the other side of the apple, right? I'm visualizing this all in my head. And then at any point, if your jar on the stage gets full, what I want you to do is move the ice bag aside and grab another bag that has snow in it and reach in there and pack that snow into your jar. Pack it in between the ice. Just keep on going, okay? And then you're just going to keep going down your list. So what this is going to do is you're just exercising your imagination. You're exercising your creative power. You're showing yourself that your brain, the analogy here with you on the stage, filling this jar with the snow, with the ice, with the water, is that your brain is like this also. You can fit so much information into your brain. Your capabilities are unlimited. You will be surprised at how much you can fit in there and just keep fitting. And so it's just like this jar. You're never, ever going to fill it. You might think you will, but you're not. You can always find that you can add more detail. You can add more to a person and a task they're doing. You can add things to the audience. Maybe you see people in the audience and they're waving at you. Or you see kids telling a joke, or maybe you see some kids on their phone. Or, maybe you see your parents in the audience, right? Again, you can fly up out of the city and you can see the lake and you see people fishing on the lake, right? All of this is a tool to practice your visualization. And by doing this, you are learning how to take control of your mind. So that's tip number 7. Visualization. We gave you a technique. If I can find Anthony's version of this, he uses it for aphantasia, I believe, to teach people how that might be aphantasic to start forming images in their head. Okay? So that's all I got for you today. I hope that you have a great day. And remember, this AI has nothing on you. All these images you've seen, this comes from human beings. You have the most powerful creative force in the universe. Thank you. It's the creative power that basically makes the whole universe. Oh, there's my dragon. I kind of like that. That looks pretty interesting.